Hi.
Hi.
We're
We're
Leper,
Leper,
and you're watching the Mike Wolf YouTube channel.
Hello, I'm Skot Shaw.
I'm Jennifer Mercy.
We are of Leper. I guess real quick, we started, I don't even remember how long ago. It's been a lot of years that we've been doing. Jennifer's only been with me for
7 years. 7 years.
7 years. We started out because I love playing music, and I know that, you know, I was always that kid in the back of the room that nobody wanted to play with unless they were looking for somebody to beat up. And then when I grew up, you know, I know there's a lot of other kids out there that feel the same way, and I just kind of wanted to be some sort of example that, you know, life doesn't have to be that way, that there is somebody who understands you and someone who's looking out, you know. Jennifer came in 7 years ago because, you know, the people I had been playing with had dropped out and I had to start over. My wife came up with this great idea. She thought Jennifer would be a good fit and dancing and stuff. But then later I think it occurred to me that, wait a minute, Jennifer sings. Why are we not making her do that?
I did it some at the beginning, but it just grew from there.
Yeah, so you know, and it has been a good fit. And, you know, since, you know, Leper has always been a revolving door. I think Jennifer has been stuck it out the longest so far. We have we have 3 other members that aren't here right now, and they have to get back and work in the early in the morning. But we our 5th member plays bass with us. Comes from a band called Frostarter from Norway, and he can't really make it that often, so he's like kind of whenever we can wrangle him. You know, sometimes we are wrangling other members. We've stolen Grave Robbers bass player a few times. We've stolen several bands bass players over here and there. We have a new record out. It's not officially released yet until October this year, and it's called This Next Song Is About Death. And most of the songs on there are about death. Not the way you might think. They are about death as in like how you should view death biblically, you know, as a Christian. Because you can't escape it. It's there. You know, it's in our culture. You can't go anywhere in life where you don't see skulls on something. You know, it's just part of society. It kind of always has been, whether we want to admit it or not. It is something that happens to everybody. It's just, you're going to. We know that, you know, as Christians, it happened to Christ. He died, you know, and beat it. So when we say we're singing about death, it's usually about that kind of a death, you know.
Sure.
Favorite color?
Well, black, of course. But, yeah, being the songs about death, like, for instance, Beneath the Sun, talking about, it's from Scripture, and it talks about that we're, you know, on the other side of things, we're not going to have to face death anymore. And Where Is Thy Sting? That's also about, like, how Christ has overcome death, like he was speaking about before, and that he, you know, Jesus Christ rose from the dead, so that he was the first one, the first fruits that came from the dead, to pass that on to us, to give us the salvation so that we can be with Christ when we die. And that's life everlasting, really.
Yeah, and just for the sake of saying it, the whole title came about as a joke, because we would do shows where people would come up to us and or complain, or, oh, you're in a goth band? How can you play that? How do you justify that as Christians when, you know, isn't goth all about death? So, which it isn't. It's macabre and you know, dark, spooky things mostly, but it's not only all about death. You know, goths don't worship death, in other words. So I started making that joke from the stage because, well, if people think that anyway, then this next song is about death. And in between every song, I would say that, and people started laughing, and started getting it, that it's not that scary of a subject, really. It's just a subject. And you know, I guess we took some of the wind out of the sail, you know. But then we thought, you know, that needs to be on a shirt. But then we thought, why stop there? Let's just that'll be the next album. And so, where can you find our stuff? You can find it on grrrecords.com. We are affiliated with that label. You can find us. We're all over YouTube, but you have to type in Leper Goth. Otherwise, all you get is Metallica. You can find us on Facebook. You have to kind of. It's weird because there's a band in Canada called Leper that's like crust punk and like real heavy, real fast, and that's not us.
Look for the veiled face. This.
Yeah, so if you see a picture of me, you'll know you're in the right place. Leper Goth, that's where you would find us on YouTube. You can Facebook, you just type in Leper, or you can go to Skot and Rachel Shaw. That'll kind of direct you to. We can direct you to the page if it's easier, or you can go to Jennifer Mercy. Or Bandcamp, you can go to Leper at Bandcamp, and you will find about 20 or so albums that are unofficial releases, because I just can't stop. I'm working on 4 now, 4 new recordings, full albums, and I can't help it. You know, there may not be as good a quality as you would hear on Grrr Records, but you know, it's like it helps me to get my ideas out, so I can keep writing and do like the more important stuff. I have a couple of side projects that, you know, I call one is EVP. It's like a blunt ripoff from Pink Floyd. Very blunt. And another one that's more like a heavy psycho thrash metal industrial punk that just, you know, take your face off kind of thing. We call that Ball Peen Hammer. Was there anything else?
I think that's it, folks.
Okay.
Hi, we're Leper, and you're watching the Mike Wolf YouTube channel. We would just like to say hello to our friends in
South America.